I was thinking here at www.iwasthinkingblog.com, a production of Viral Maximus with my friend Sammy Reyes and yours truly, Carlos Augusto Sestero. I was thinking, and I hope that you can join me in thinking about this very hot issue that I want to share with you in this kind of serious blog. This taping is kind of like tough for me to share about. I'm a little bit upset, you know. In previous tapings, we talked about the 33 most important issues, you know, that are relevant prior to elections, during the electoral period or process, after elections, at any time, any place. Basically, every country, every city, every state has to deal with situations like abortion, wars, something like the auto bailout, the relationships with other countries like China, the civil rights, the economy, energy, issues like, I don't know, the problems with the labor unions, racial, you know, conflicts, taxes, etc., etc. And we talked about, likely, you know, superficially, we mentioned the 33 issues before the elections of November 2012 here in the States and in Puerto Rico, where I'm from. But what is relevant for us, and what I already shared in Spanish for the Spanish-speaking people in the States and anywhere else about these 33 issues, is that I did not mention one topic, one subject, one dynamic, one problem, one situation, one issue that is so relevant at the beginning of December of 2012 that at the beginning of November 2012 was not relevant or important at all. Nobody talked about it, nobody mentioned it, nobody was concerned about it, nobody asked, nobody, I mean, it didn't come up in any kind of conversation. You know what issue that is? Secession. S-E-C-E-S-S-I-O-N. Secession. Why? Why didn't anybody talk about secession at the beginning of November, or in October, or in September, or in August? Nobody has talked about secession in the United States for the longest time. I mean, how come all of a sudden it's not mentioned before elections? There are no threats of separation from the Union of the United States of America by any individual, by any group, by any corporation, by any state, by any city. Nobody's mentioned this. But lo and behold, President Barack Obama wins the elections in November of 2012, and then some people start talking about secession. Isn't that amazing? Wow. It is disgusting, disgusting. I want to avoid using dirty words, you know, like son of a, because it's not perhaps the mother's fault, or piece of, you know, because maybe it's going to be a little bit too much for you. But in my mind, between my right ear and my left ear, I hear groups and leaders and people, or signatures, you know, or organized groups of people signing to secede from the United States of North America, and I feel like the blood coming up to my mind, to my brain, like I wish that God would smite them, because it is disgusting. It is a great failure against God, against the United States, against people, against themselves, because it's destructive and self-destructive. If not, look what happened in the Civil War in 1860. I mean, that's amazing. These people want to gather signatures. There's, you know, thousands of people signing to secede from the United States in 20-something states of the Union. What is that about? And you know what? Apart from the spiritual, the humanitarian, the personal, the emotional, the mental malady, I want to mention one thing. Legally, from a federal union government, United States of America point of view, isn't that considered high treason against the country? Isn't that much worse than selling a secret, of a map or some kind of, invention for a new machine gun, selling that idea to another country? That's even worse. That means breaking up the country. That means seceding. That means separation, disconnecting. You see? And that is evil. That is wrong. Okay? Obama wins secession. Why? Because they are sore losers. That's all. I'm not saying that the majority of Republicans are in favor of secession, but I don't think that any Democrat in any of these groups, cities, or states want to secede after Obama wins. So the only logic explanation is like, Obama won again, therefore I don't want to be here. No, instead of leaving the country, I want to stay, but I want to disconnect myself from the United States. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. And I'm reading papers left and right, checking situations all over, and I cannot figure out how come this movement has progressed, has evolved. There is a movie, The Hunger Game. You know that movie. A central government punishes provinces by bringing people into these competitions, and most of them die. That's part of a game, because they're undisciplined. These groups are undisciplined because they wanted to secede from that government. That's one of the underlying currencies that go, the currents that go under the main theme of the competition, and to see who survives. It has to do with the fact that these groups, these states, these provinces wanted to disconnect themselves from this government, this country, and they were brought in by force, and now they have to pay the price. Now, I cannot believe that in Texas, where I live, this is happening, where Governor Perry, who is not the best qualified to be the governor of Texas, as we can attest, as we can, checked out in the last few years, in order to bring people into his favor, he kind of like manipulated situations for Hispanics and ministers and people to try to back him, saying, no, I don't want to run for president. And then he ran for president. When he tried to make it for president of the United States, of course, he got kicked out of that major league because he doesn't qualify. But at different moments, he has kind of remarked, he has made direct or indirect comments concerning Texas, the possibility of disconnecting itself from the United States. So then, does that mean that Governor Perry wants to be the president of the Republic of Texas? Is that what he has in mind? Man, that's high treason. That's high treason, Mr. Perry. That's high treason, bro. Not good. Not good before God, not good before men. And that's very sick. And it coincides with the fact that there is a film called Lincoln that is out in the theaters. Isn't that something? President Abraham Lincoln, he had to deal with a group of states, that wanted to disconnect themselves from the Union. He said, a house divided against itself cannot stand, quoting the Bible, right, righteously so. I mean, and justifiably, he tried to, and he did it. He wanted to abolish slavery. He saved the Union, along with the whole, but it cost hundreds of thousands of lives, And now in 2012, almost 2013, in December, we have these signatures about this. That is disgusting. It is disgusting. And of course, it has to do with the fact that an African American, a black man, again gets elected to the White House. And some people don't like that. And that's why, because if Romney would have won, you wouldn't be collecting signatures for the secession. Shame on you. You think about that and write and let me know what you think, okay? Keep in touch, www.iwasthinkingblog.com, and I'll get back to you with maybe something else that I'll be sharing with you when I come back to you and tell you what I was thinking.